Poetic beats. Poetic beats.
This is First GenXers.
Poetic beats. Poetic beats.
All right, so welcome y'all. Welcome to today's edition of the Cheap Pop Podcast, where again you can find us on Facebook, Cheap Pop Podcast 25. Let's see, and we always seem to try to have a little fun with some of the most ridiculous and silly topics in pop culture today. Well, we're going to open up with another one of those topics. Well, first we're going to open up with, as always, the pop culture quiz. Today's theme is going to be 80s cartoons. So, gentlemen, I expect you to get 4 for 4 on this one. There should be no reason why y'all should remember it. You guys remember all these cartoons. You guys should remember these sequences or these things. So the first pop culture quiz question is, what is the name of the mystical substance or item that gives the Thundercats their power and is embedded in the sword? Think about it for a second, gentlemen. You know, I know we got to go way back there for you guys, in order to remember that. But I'm just messing with you. I'll say, but I'm pretty sure you guys will come to the right answer. All right. So, evidently, Mark Maron comic, popular comic, believes that this is how fascism works, because he's slamming the streaming giant Netflix for not punishing Dave Chappelle for having a couple of, I can't call him completely anti-trans, considering like he wishes no harm. He doesn't wish that, from what I got from the jokes, he doesn't wish that trans people don't exist. He just doesn't get the whole trans thing. Doesn't have to. He's not trans. So, and he made a few jokes. Mark Maron is, I guess, evidently upset that they didn't pull Dave Chappelle's stand-up acts or his things from the shelves, or pull them from, and he talks about comedians nowadays whose main shtick is being anti-woke, which I don't think Dave Chappelle is a good example of that particular, type of comedian. He seems fairly woke to me. He has some old school thought processes, but seems fairly woke to me. But evidently, this is something that Mark Maron has been extremely outspoken on over the past few years. So, gentlemen, your thoughts on Mark Maron and his exclamation about this is how fascism works, for Dave Chappelle not being pulled, Dave Chappelle's specials not being pulled for Netflix after outrage by the trans community.
I understand both sides of the issue, and I can see Saint kind of just giving the shake of disapproval right there. I agree that I don't think that Chappelle meant anything with the jokes.
Yeah.
He was just trying to be funny.
Yeah.
But we live in a reality where, as egalitarian as we like to think things are, there are still certain things and certain subjects that are best addressed within the respective community.
Okay.
Like I said, I don't think that Chappelle had any malice in his heart when he told those jokes.
Right.
But were they his jokes to tell? I think that the the jokes would have been much better received coming from a comedian like um, Sally Izzard, formerly Eddie Izzard.
Mm.
Okay, just like um, a ghetto joke would come over better from you two gentlemen telling it than me telling it. It could be the
Okay.
exact same
Okay.
wording, exact same everything. It's still
First, let me
Yeah,
ask you
just-
this question, Dave. And this is the only pushback I'll give you on it. First, let me ask you this question. Have you actually seen the Chappelle Show specials and the specific jokes that we're talking about?
I have not seen the Chappelle Show specials. I have read transcripts of the jokes that were told at, and that's why I said I agree that it's not.
Well, no, but here's what I mean
No,
by it's not malicious. Is that literally the only, it may not have been a joke that people liked in taste, but the joke was basically he doesn't get trans culture. That was the joke. The joke was him. The joke wasn't in any way malicious towards the joke. He's just saying, I don't get it. And I look at it from more of a concept of that he understands I don't have to get it. In order for them to be valid, in order for them to be alive, in order for them to be real, in order for them to deserve rights, whatever, and so on and so forth.
Right.
I don't have to get what they do. And he made a joke out of himself by talking about how he doesn't understand it. That's why I didn't even understand the outrage by the trans community when he first said the jokes. I was like, if a white comedian sat up there and cracked a joke about not understanding black culture because he's not black, I'm not going to take offense to that. Of course, you're not going to understand black culture. You're not black. You know what I'm saying? And that's basically the way I looked at it with how Chappelle presented the joke. Is he's not saying, "Oh, this is bad." He's just saying, "I don't get it. It's not something that I would." And so I don't understand how that joke is in bad taste when it's literally making a joke of him, not of the trans community.
But to counter that point, it's still.
Okay.
I don't think that if that's all that it was, see, how hard would it have been for Dave to have said what you just said?
Well, that's what I'm saying. But he basically did.
yeah.
He just formed it in a form of a long form joke. That's basically what he said.
But what I'm saying is, after the joke and after everyone got upset, how hard would it have been for Dave to come out and said what you just said and explain that way? Instead, he took a much more solid, I ain't apologizing for shit.
And I'll be honest with you, because I agree with him. He doesn't have anything to apologize for. Why retract something when you did nothing wrong? The joke in no way talks about trans people being bad, trans people being evil, or trans people not being of God. It's just the joke of him telling a story about why he doesn't get trans people. And so that's why I don't understand why there needs to be an apology, why there needs to be any issue with him coming out and retracting anything that he said. Again, nobody, he doesn't need to understand the trans community in order for them to be valid. He doesn't need to understand why they do what they do. And he didn't make fun of the fact that they did it. He made fun of himself for not getting it. And so the way I see it is, if you're making fun of you, how can somebody else be offended by you making fun of you?
Okay. And that gets into a whole bigger topic about we are not responsible for the reactions that others have to what we say, what we do. But even then, when we, even with the best of intentions, when we miss, we still have to put ourselves in the mindsets of
Okay.
the people who are saying that they are offended
When I,
and
hold on,
that it was wrong.
hold on.
And it's the easiest thing in the world to say, you know, I didn't
It,
mean it in the way that's being taken, but I
it's the hold,
understand sometimes deliveries don't land like you think that they did,
hold
and
on,
I'm sorry.
hold on,
That's it.
real quick. Hold on. Before I let Saint jump in, because I know he's itching at the post to
Yeah.
get a word in here.
Oh no.
I will say this. I will say this again. If the joke was about trans people, then I could understand there being offense at all. And I'm sorry if I'm sitting there. To me, this is the equivalent of me telling a black joke, a racist black joke, and my white friend getting offended for me or getting offended at me. Like it's like he told a joke about himself. He made himself the punchline of the joke.
Hmm.
Like he didn't make trans people the punchline. They were just a part of the joke. So that
Yep.
again, that's why I say I disagree with the outrage in itself at all. Because it's like, okay, I think the outrage is more along the lines of, well, you mentioned you told a joke about trans people in general. So that's not allowed. No, comedians are allowed to tell jokes. And comedians are allowed to tell jokes about what happens in daily society. And at the end of the day, it was a joke. And like I said, at the end of the day, the punchline of the joke was about him. It wasn't about trans people. So therefore, there's nothing for Dave Chappelle to come out and say other than I told the joke. If you didn't like it, that's fine. You didn't like the joke. But I'm not a bad person because I told a joke that put me at the punchline. Go on ahead, Saint.
All right, let's get let's get it cracking. First of all, Mark Maron,
Yeah,
like who the hell are you? Like
yeah,
really? You know what I'm saying? Like
pretty
he's
popular.
making conversation to be relevant in this case, okay? The thing about it is if trans activist comedian Flame Monroe didn't have a problem with the situation of the Dave Chappelle joke, then it shouldn't be. That's why it's my problem with this whole thing is, and even Dave Chappelle even made a statement about it, is to where you can make jokes about any group. You can make jokes, especially like, oh, I'm sorry, you telling like a joke about gays or something like that because Dave Chappelle used, he used that, he had used it in one of his speeches, but or one of his jokes. But the minute someone says the N word, it's all good and cool. So it's like I'm not with this bullshit. It's like comedians have to be able to tell jokes. They have to have some kind of humor. It is so much. People are too fucking sensitive.
Sid,
God has had humor. God had a sense of humor, okay? I'm pretty sure it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? And it's like it's just too much.
I
Like,
think that I agree with you.
ah,
I agree
ah,
with you 100%, Saint, with the fact that
ah,
in order for comedy to thrive, comedians have to be able to tell jokes.
yeah,
And people have to understand that when you go to a comedy show, you're going to hear some jokes that you don't like. You're going to hear some jokes that you like, but it's a comedy show.
yeah.
You
I
leave it
mean,
at the comedy show. Now, don't
look,
get me wrong.
don't make jokes.
If a white comedian goes off on a 30-minute rant about how he hates and wish they were all dead and tries to crack a bunch of jokes about hanging dudes with nooses, that's a different subject. But comedians just telling jokes, it's we're getting to the point where comedians can't be comedians. And I'm not saying that in a desperate, like, oh my God, we're headed towards the apocalypse type way. I'm just saying compared to the joke, like I'm dead serious. Like Eddie Murphy Raw, Eddie Murphy Delirious. None of these specials would have been acceptable today. I think about
Oh,
Eddie Murphy in the beginning of the Delirious special, where he talks about going to San Francisco and the police rolled up on him, and there wasn't a whatchamacallit on top of the car, a siren on top of the car. It was just a gay dude sitting up there going woo woo woo, and everybody laughed. Gay, straight, everybody laughed.
We're going to
Nobody
win
took it
this
to heart.
race.
And I don't get with what's changing within that realm of comedy that now all of a sudden every joke that's being told is being analyzed, overanalyzed, and put in through a blender when it's a fucking joke. It's not meant to be taken seriously. It's
Okay.
not meant for you to think that that person actually
This
believes.
next generation, or two generations down, too soft, man.
And
Toughen
so
up.
I get wanting respect. I get wanting to have your the way you choose to live your life respected, etc. That's the battle that the younger generations have been going through. Shit, we're still going through it as Gen X with the boomers. Okay, like we're still going through it.
Yeah.
That's just how
Yeah.
shit works with older to younger, or with the older to younger. But in general, this thing about everybody has to watch every word that comes out of their mouth. Is it fine to be respectful? Yes, it is fine to ask for respect and ask people to be respectful of you and yours. And anybody that doesn't, that's a problem that needs to be solved. But I think this demanding of everybody to treat you a certain way has got to go. Like, people are going to treat you based on how you interact with them, and sometimes they're going to be wrong in how they treat you. That's just life, and those people need to be checked when they are doing that. But going out looking for it, trying to find it in jokes from comedians, in words from certain people, and going out and trying to find it, we live in a paranoid society. I don't think it's that we're soft, saying, but that one I would disagree with you on, because these kids today are dealing with shit that we never dreamed about dealing with when we were kids. Like bro, like we lived in the ghetto and we had to worry about there being shootings on our street. But we knew for the most part when we went to school, we were in a safe place. And these kids that are growing up now have to do drills about niggas coming through and shooting up their school for no reason other than the dude didn't like the way the
Whoa,
teacher talked to
whoa,
him the
whoa!
other day.
Now
No,
hold
no, no,
on,
no, 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 no.
hold
I'm not
on.
saying anything about you in particular. I'm just saying that I don't think that they're soft. I think what it is that now they are looking for the disrespect
Well,
instead
no,
of
I'm not
being.
okay. Well, I'm not.
They're
Well, I'm
trying
not gonna
to
say
find it in
soft.
places where it
Well,
may not be.
I'm not gonna say soft in terms of kids, because I mean shit. I see kids walking up on stuff, and walking up on grown people and trying to come with it,
Yeah.
and that's something. I mean, that's something I gotta deal with every day. You know
Oh
what I'm
yeah.
saying? Because
Yes, I
I
do.
work in a school.
Right.
But at the same time, respect is due, because the simple fact is, I'm not waiting for some kid to come on and take me out. Oh,
Oh,
hell to the no.
no,
That's just not no.
no.
But my whole disposition, especially that I work in a school, I try to encourage, you know, kids, the best way possible, without
Oh yeah.
sounding like, overbearing or
Oh yeah.
anything like that. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, but in terms of, like these jokes and stuff like that, I mean, yeah, some of these I'm sorry, some of these Gen Z kids are really, super sensitive, really super sensitive, and sometimes can't take a joke. I don't want to have to be having to change, certain words in the English language right now, because it's like the word KILL. They talk about the word, and then and then someone is unaliving me, like,
Okay.
what the hell, like, yeah,
Now,
like,
okay.
huh?
Let me talk about that. Okay.
What?
Let me give you the reason why the word kill is being replaced by unalived, because social media algorithms, if you put a word like kill in, that's going to depress the algorithm for your post and possibly get flagged for removal. This is the whole situation of the trophy participation generation all over again. We didn't ask for participation trophies. Our parents force it on them. It's not like kids want to use unalived because they think it's a cool hip replacement for kill. It's because if they know that if they use the word kill in any post, that post has a far lesser chance of being seen.
Yeah.
Of being seen.
100%.
Okay. And
That's granted. Granted.
okay. Now
And they're
and-
trying to just one quick statement real quick. They're also, the way I look at it as well, is some of the stuff I look over, and when I say I look over it, I mean I don't criticize or look at them sideways for it, is because they're trying to carve their place out in this world same way we did when we were their age, and their generation's trying to find their mark. Again, I think their major problem is that they're seeing the boogeyman on every TV channel. You know what I'm saying? And though he's not there, they've gotten to this desperate place where they see the boogeyman everywhere, and so now they're trying to call out the boogeyman, and sometimes it's not the boogeyman. You know, and so I think that this next generation has it hard. I think that we prepared them. We as the ones of us that are parents and all that, we prepared them for as much of this world as we could.
Mm-hmm.
But the world is still getting even worse as we sit here and discuss the world. You know, so I think that these kids are trying to find their way in what feels like Fallout. You know what I'm saying? Or Twisted Metal. You know, it's not to that extreme. We recognize that, but to them, it's got to seem like that. Like there's just not a lot of hope in the world like there was in the 80s. Like 80s, you can look back and laugh at the hairdos and the clothes and all that of the 80s and the 90s, but that's back when everybody had hope that we were going to see this future that was going to be such a better place. And that's slowly been eaten at and chipped away at as we move forward into what that future will actually be. And so, like I said, I agree that these kids need to stop looking for the boogeyman everywhere and just learn to enjoy the moment, enjoy life, and enjoy a good laugh when a good laugh is put in front of you. If you hear a joke and you don't want to laugh at it, don't laugh at it. But if it strikes another person in the right way, even if the joke offends you, let them laugh. We ain't got enough of that in this world today. We don't have enough of people laughing and feeling good. So let them have that laugh and don't take it personally. That joke just hit them right and it didn't hit you right. And it's okay for you to be offended and it's okay for them to laugh at the joke. Now, there are certain lines to that, I agree. But there has to be a leeway in there where you allow comedians to be comedians.
Right. Now,
That's true. I give you that.
My last point on this.
Okay. Yeah, because we got to move ahead.
Yeah. So. Is, you know what also used to be the height of American comedy and completely acceptable and nobody had a problem and everyone was laughing at it?
What's that?
Blackface.
I wouldn't say everybody was laughing at it. I wouldn't say everybody was laughing at it.
Right.
There were people that understood it was wrong from the get-go.
Right. But there were still a majority. My point is that we want to think that everything is sort of a frozen moment in time that can be come back to and back to and back to, and that we don't progress. And that the feedback against Dave Chappelle is showing that not that we're soft, but that society does progress and that you need to adapt to how society progresses in there, because otherwise you're just going to end up like people defending, say, like Andrew Dice Clay.
But at a certain time,
right,
when he was,
yes,
it was funny.
But he no longer is funny anymore.
Okay, I'll put it to you like this. He's still funny to me. Like Andrew Dice Clay is still funny to me, but I come from that generation. So I understand how to take his jokes. I do agree that we have progressed. But as far as comedians progressing, Comedians have always been the ones to hold up the mirror to society and say, look at this, let's have a good laugh. This shit is so ridiculous. Hold on. This goes back hundreds of years. This goes back to the 1800s, to the invention of comedy as stand-up comedy as a profession. Comedians have always been the one to do that, to tell them that they now need to adapt to cater their styles so that everybody, now mind you, this is part of the problem too. Everybody in society can't get on the same page. If we could all get on the same page that this was bad and this wasn't, it would be a lot easier for comedians to navigate the road. But when a third of these people find this funny, but the rest don't, a fifth of these people find this funny, but the rest don't. I think as a comedian, you got to learn your audience for sure, know where you're at, cater your set to where you are at. But as far as catering it to be for the ears of everybody, we need to stop thinking that everything in society is meant for all of us. It's not. Some things like as many white people as I know that enjoyed Harlem Nights and really enjoyed it, found it hilarious, loved to rewatch it over and over and over again. They can all acknowledge that Harlem Nights was a movie that was not made for them. It was made for the Black community. Yes, you can relate to it. You can laugh at it. You can love it. We can all love it together. But this movie was not made for you. This movie was made for Black faces. And it's okay that particular comedian, man, if you're trans and you were offended by what Dave Chappelle said, then maybe Dave Chappelle's just not the comedian for you. Doesn't mean Dave Chappelle has to change his act. It just means you no longer go to his shows because his shows are not for you. And that's okay. You shouldn't feel like his show should be for me to be able to go to. No, you don't like his version of comedy. So don't go. Don't support it. And I think people take it too far when they're like, the comedian needs to change. No, he doesn't. He told his joke. It is what it is. If you don't like him, don't pay to go see him. I'm not very fond of George Lopez's newer comedy. I don't watch it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not very fond of several comedians that I used to love. I'm not fond of their newer stuff. I don't watch it. I still watch their old stuff because it still makes me laugh, but I just don't watch their new stuff. The power is held within you, and we're trying to swing the sword at somebody else. You don't like Dave Chappelle, don't watch Dave Chappelle. And trust me, if enough people don't watch Dave Chappelle, there will be repercussions to Dave Chappelle's pocketbook. Because the people who are putting out his specials want there to be a certain amount of people watching him. And if there aren't that many people watching him, he will not get another special. So if what he said was so offensive, then tune out. It's just like when people tell people to vote with their wallets. If you don't like what a business is doing, stop shopping there. Because once their bottom line is affected, they'll make different moves.
True.
It's the same thing with comedians. If you don't like that particular level of comedy, instead of screaming it at the rooftops that you hate what he said, so just quietly stop spending your money on anything that supports him. You don't like Dave Chappelle, you think Netflix was stupid for keeping him on, then don't get a Netflix subscription. I don't care what shows are on Netflix that you want to see. Don't put your money towards a Netflix subscription. It's honestly just that simple. And so I think that what I agree with Saint is that the younger generations have a tendency to make it too complicated. Just withdraw your dollars and your time from focusing on whatever this product is, and trust me, they will feel the pain. Because as you become more and more the situation, they will feel the pain and they will change their ways. But as long as you're still paying for it, as long as you're still doing it, you can scream all you want, but Dave Chappelle doesn't need to change. You just got to stop supporting him.
Yeah, at that point, my thing is this. Yeah, if others have tried to do the what do you call it? The cancel, cancel, culture or whatever. But the thing about it is, don't try Netflix. Too much money. You guys will lose and keep on losing.
So, all right. So now that we got the hot topic out of the way, we can go ahead and get to some fun stuff in the DCU, and that is there has been 2 confirmations. I was reading here in the first episode of Peacemaker. season 2, which I have not seen yet. I'll be watching that throughout this week. So
How
it's firstly, I was unaware of the date in which it came out, so I was like, okay.
could you miss, man?
Firstly, a report on the Spear News references metahumans breaking out of Bell Reeve and Arkham. That's one of the first links to Batman. And then secondly, when Chris Smith sees an alternate version of Keith, his brother says, "I thought you were in Bloodhaven," which is another connection to the Batman universe as well.
Yep.
So, gentlemen, your thoughts? I take it both of you have seen Peacemaker with the way you guys are talking.
Oh, absolutely, man.
So, what do you guys think of these
It's
Batman
DC.
references and what it means for the bigger DCU?
Oh, it's coming. Something with the Dark Knight. You know, my whole thing is that they've been really talking about possibly, and I don't know how it's going to look, but I think they're probably going to try to bring in Robert Pattinson for some reason. I don't know. That's just how I'm feeling.
Well, according to the article, James Gunn has already said that the Robert Pattinson Batman will exist in its own Elseworlds universe and will not be crossed over to the DCU.
Then the only thing I could think about is that Jensen Ackles, you know, he's been rumored, or Alan Richardson, you know, he's also been rumored to play the possibility of taking the Dark Knight role. So we don't know.
I would love to see it.
Yeah.
Dave, any thoughts?
There's a lot. There's a lot of balls that James Gunn is having to juggle in getting the DCU set up. Okay, and they're trying to figure out what's working, what didn't work, and how to maintain the popularity without having pearls falling in the rain, shall we say. They don't. They realize that they don't need to retell every single origin story.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, but at the same time, I understand why James Gunn and Peter Seraphine are proceeding the way that they're proceeding. It's because they want to wipe away the last of the They want to wipe
Sorry,
away
my tribal chief was calling me. I'm sorry.
They want to make sure that there's no legacy left of the DCEU to contaminate. And so that's where all the questions are arising about what is, what isn't, and they're doing it on a case-by-case basis, where he's hinting that Blue Beetle would fit in well with the DC universe movies, the current generation DC universe movies. But James Gunn also recently said that there's a problem in adapting Static,
Yeah.
and even the Authority, because of how those acquired titles have been shoehorned into the DC Comics lines.
Right.
And so he's trying to figure out ways of bringing everything that DC has in their arsenal in, but in a way that we don't end up with, say, 24 variants on Superman.
Right.
Okay, which basically DC has because of how they've acquired it over the decades. And so he's looking for smooth transitions into everything. And so that's why he's having to make deliberate lore choices as to what's included, what's not, what's changing, what's not.
I put it on the table, but it didn't break all the way. He slid off of it.
So
Yeah.
yeah, we don't know what the idea with Pattinson is. We know that Alan Rickson, aka Jack Reacher and Amazon, has been wanting to. He's been campaigning for himself to be the next Batman, which
I think
I think
he
would
would
be
make a
good.
good pick.
I think it would work. But again, a lot of it is James Gunn also wants to limit the flow of information.
Right.
He wants to tamp down on speculation as much as possible.
Yeah.
And he would be very vocal about coming out and saying, no, this is bullshit. We haven't done anything on this yet. We haven't even thought about doing anything like this yet.
Yeah.
We are not currently considering doing something like this yet.
Yeah.
And so, because he knows that a lot of superhero and other genre for popular franchises, a lot of them get spoiled simply by the casual speculation game.
Right.
Right.
Okay. And that there's just so much that can be done to throw off an otherwise good film project and absolutely ruin it by trying to listen to too many sources of criticism.
Yeah. Trying
Perfect
to please
example.
everybody.
Right. Perfect example is yesterday I caught up on my MCU viewing, finished and watched Thunderbolts and Captain America: Brave New World.
Right.
I liked both films.
Both were good.
I saw the flaws in Brave New World, though, the problems that they had, and that there was so much. I saw what they were originally wanting to do, and then what they pivoted to, and all sorts of stuff, and how it all compacted with each other. I still think that there was a way to bring in the Serpent Society in Brave New World and still keep the general flow of the narrative to what it was. Which, let's face it, having the Serpent Society premiere, that was one of the things that fans were excited about.
Yeah.
And now that we've learned about a lot of the interconnections that were happening on, like Stain's kid in Ironheart, where he was going to be the source of the technological enhancements that were going to be used for the Serpent Society. But then they didn't go with that, so they had to reduce his role in Ironheart and just completely, imagine Stain Technology forming the cybernetics and the high tech aspects for Serpent Society, and then the leader, Samuel Stearns, creating the biological enhancements like Puff Adder and a few others
Mm.
in there. So there was a way to bring in a very popular, very requested fan group and still keep the same story structure
Yeah.
in there. And I think that would have made it a much better film.
You think
But-
so?
I think so. I think having the Serpent Society, having an actual dedicated villain group like that, the anti-Avengers, if you will, because they haven't done that before. They haven't done that in the MCU yet. It's all just been call and response to these gigantic crises with singular antagonists.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
you know, it's. I understand what James Gunn is doing. It's like, What happens will happen. He's earned enough of my trust to whatever he comes with, I'm going to like it.
And here's where, again, I've mentioned this on the show before, where I kind of separate myself when I watch movies and TV shows. My initial reaction will always be, it is what it is. And that is, I've never once, I can't say I've never once. Maybe days after I've seen the movie, I'll go back and go, well, you know what? I would have liked to have seen this X, Y, or Z. But I don't think for me, and this is where I think I come with it differently than a lot of comic book movie fans, is that I don't find myself obsessing too much over how they could have done this, that, or this. And I'm kind of more comfortable to sit back and see whatever the story is that Kevin Feige and company have to tell. Because I think that they've earned that in the sense that from Iron Man to Endgame, every movie was just about, could any of them have been better? Oh yeah, there was a lot of the original MCU movies that could have been a little bit better here, a little bit better there. But I thought that they did an amazing job of telling the story that they wanted to tell, and I perfectly enjoyed it. And so I hear a lot in the comic book sphere when speaking about these movies. Oh, they should have done this. They should have done that. Wait a minute. They're the ones telling you the story. Sit back and enjoy the story that's being told to you, and don't worry about what you think they should have done. And I'm not saying this in reference to what you say. So you said, Dave. I'm saying this in reference to a lot of what I see online and people talking about this movie sucked because they could have done this and they didn't. Well, no, the movie didn't suck. You just were pissed that they didn't do what you wanted them to do.
Exactly.
And so now you're tying those two things together. The movie itself was great. You just didn't like that they didn't add the extra element that you wanted to see. And so I think if people got rid of a lot of that when they were watching the movie, they better be able to just enjoy the story that James Gunn, whoever the director is just telling us, and be able to enjoy the MCU more. Because I think a lot of people come at it from that angle of, I expect this. And then when they don't get that, they go, well, shit, it sucked because I expected this and it wasn't that. No, that's not how any of that works. Like, so at the end of the day, I'll leave it to Saint real quick, and then you, Dave, to give your final thoughts before we finish up the pop culture quiz for this segment and move on to pop culture corner.
Well, I'll just say this. If it happens, it happens. And even Blade made a guest appearance in the MCU. I mean, come on, you guys. Let's just say, you get fan service, and then you have the ones that, yeah, we need this plot line because that's how this shit is gonna happen. And Moon Knight got caught up in outer space, and Captain Marvel accidentally destroyed the universe because Doctor Doom told her. Like, get the fuck out of here, man. All of these plot lines, like, I get it. It's good fan service. Best thing that Marvel ever did for the Infinity Saga was to give the real fans, the older fans, Gen X fan service for our generation of heroes. Loveliest thing ever.
Well, and also I'll throw in there with you, bro, like with the Avengers Endgame, I went back and reread the Infinity Saga. Like the original Infinity Saga, I went back and read it on Marvel Unlimited. There's a lot of shit that they left out. There was a lot of shit that they did not cover.
Pip the Troll.
Fucking Adam Warlock.
Adam Warlock.
They didn't bring him until way later. Like, and those people were critical of what went on. Lady Death was a critical part of everything that was going on in Infinity Saga, and she didn't make a single appearance. I think people got to start understanding that that there are certain stories that they can tell that they can probably do frame for frame remakes in live action. But most of your live action stuff is going to be based on an idea that was introduced in the original thing, but the story is going to be told in a completely different way.
And the Infinity Gems, you guys, the Infinity Gems, not the Infinity Stones. Okay, if you read the comics, they're the gems. They even made a video game about it. Come on, War of the Gems. Jesus, bro. Like,
Dave, final thoughts?
since we've already gone over it, and it's going to be what's going to be. So I am happy to speculate what could be coming,
Of
but
course.
at the same thing, I'm also happy to get what we get.
Yeah, very much. Sorry, Clash of Paris just ended. So
Yeah.
we'll talk about that a little bit later. All right, so let's get to this pop culture quiz question and answer. The question, gentlemen, what is the name of the mystical substance or item that gives the Thundercats their power and is embedded in the sword?
Thunderanium.
Saint?
Thundercats
All
was
right.
one I didn't watch much.
The Eye of Thundera is what we're looking for.
Okay,
of
the Eye of Thundera is
Thunder.
the gem.
Thunder.
Right, it's the
It's
item.
not-
It's not a substance.
Yeah, it's not a substance. Okay.
I caught that when I was originally asking. All right, so gentlemen, that's going to close out our hot topic segment. And you know what that brings us to? All right. So we're going to open up again with a question. You guys got chance number 2 here to get that point. Pop culture quiz question. Transformers, the movie, 1986, shocked fans by killing off which beloved Autobot leader early in the film, paving the way for Rodimus Prime? If you guys missed this, I will literally remove you from this show. Anyway, all right, so let's get to our first thing here. And guys, it gives us something to look at, which is this. This is a custom build. You may think you are looking at a Millennium Falcon, but you are not. You are looking at UCS Outrider.
Outrider. Dash Rendar's ship from Shadow of the Empire.
So somebody built a multi-thousand piece Lego ship, a version of it.
Yep.
Now that's some craftsmanship like a motherfucker.
Yep.
See, I've always said this. I loved Legos as a kid. I had a box full of them just like everybody else. Legos
Right.
became frustrating to me after a while because I was never good at building shit like this. Like I was never like all of the ships I came up with looked silly. Like they look like weird random things, cars and everything. I was just never good. Now, mind you, if you gave me a Lego set and told me, Mr. Kendrick, build this, here are the instructions. Oh, I can make it beautiful.
Yep.
I can make it beautiful. I can follow them directions. Shoot, I got a bunch of Legos on in my display case. Beautiful.
Right.
But you tell me, you just hand me a bunch of blank Legos and say build something. Yeah, you're at most going to get like maybe a building, like a skyscraper building. That's at most. My Lego skills were not that good. But some of my boys, like friend of the show, Jamil, used to have a friggin' Lego town, a bunch of buildings and people in it and the whole shebang. And I was like, damn, I wish I could concentrate long enough to do shit.
Wait a minute,
like
you
this.
said Lego Town?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He had one of the big Lego, one of the huge
Like
Lego.
the end of the Lego movie where we see the basement and we see the interconnected Lego town that the dad and the son have built.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh man, like yeah. I wanted to do that, but I never have any space to be able to do something like that. But yeah, so I appreciate what these people have done in regards to bringing back that Star Wars ship and putting that together. I wonder if it's for sale. We'll see.
No,
All
no
right,
doubt.
here's one
no
brought.
doubt.
Here's one brought to us by Dave. Story brought to us by Dave from The Hollywood Reporter. Kelly McCormick and David Leck of 87 North are among those producing a big screen take on a 1980s show about a cool, handsome man and his cool talking car. Didn't we have
the folks that gave us Cobra Kai are setting their sights on Knight Rider.
Knight Rider.
A shadowy journey into
To
the
the wait a minute.
I don't.
A shining flame into
no,
the
a shadowy journey into the life of a man who does not
does not
exist.
exist.
Yes, like yeah. They need to read. They need. Okay, I don't want a whole nother show, but they need to give me another Airwolf movie.
Exactly. The
Right.
the Airwolf, the sequel series to Airwolf that went into syndication a few years after the show left CBS was shit.
No, it wasn't. No, yeah, no. That. Let me throw something at you real quick.
You know, sex books.
Airwolf to me was the one of the best Cold War. Cold War. You know, a guy who took a government helicopter and took that shit and said, "Listen, you
I'm
look
gonna go
into
do
my
right."
brother's no, you look into my brother's disappearance, and then yeah, but I'm keeping this motherfucker."
Yep.
And that's exactly Stringfellow Hawk was the motherfucking dude.
Yep.
He gave zero fucks. You got that? You want that information? Get my brother. But then when the fourth season came up and they found him, and then his brother took over the Airwolf, and then it was like
And
Jan Michael
Dom's
Vincent,
daughter.
yeah, and Jan Michael Vincent went out like they made him look like go out like a bitch, man. I'm
Yep.
telling you, man, that hurt me to my core.
Yeah.
So as far as I'm concerned, the only seasons of Airwolf are the first three.
The first 3, 4, and 5 don't
Yeah.
exist, huh?
No, 4 does not exist.
Four does not
That was pretty much a paperweight.
Yeah.
That was a paperweight.
I am
Okay?
100% here for them doing this movie or this Knight Rider movie because, like I said, the homage. If you ever get a chance to, if you ever have 4-5 days off from work, you ain't got nothing to do, watch the entire Cobra Kai series in sequence, and you'll understand that the entire thing from season 1 to season 6 is a gigantic love letter to everybody who ever loved Cobra Kai as a kid and watched it and wanted to be the Karate Kid. I could see them doing something similar with this Knight Rider movie and making it something that's just an homage to everything that show was and everything that show meant to the people who grew up watching it.
And erase the taste of the literally half dozen sequel series of Knight Rider. Knight Rider 2000.
Wait a minute. You mean the
Knight Rider.
2000? Now listen. Check this out. I do, in some senses, I gotta give props to the Knight Rider 2008 series because listen, it was different. It was kind of ahead of its time in that aspect, and Val Kilmer played the motherfucking role as Kid.
Oh, nice.
I just gotta give because I did like at least I like the way that Michael Knight was able to make that appearance and to close that continuity. Other than that, the rest of the series was shit. But I will give it to that first move, that very first pilot movie,
Yeah.
and it told you exactly what it was and who Wilton Knight, at that point does. It kind of like closed it up. And then Sidney Poitier's daughter also
It's still going.
was on that shit. So yeah, I was all with it.
But no, okay. I'm going to throw you guys a random music question. Saint, I pretty much expect you to know this. Dave, I don't know if you will. I don't know how familiar you are with his music. But which artist used that little synth beat from the Knight Rider theme song? Who used that?
Two.
Okay,
There were
who? Name the two, sir.
Timbaland
remember
and
one.
Busta Rhymes.
See, I don't remember the Busta Rhymes one. I do remember the Timbaland one.
Yeah.
But I don't remember the
Yeah.
Busta. I'm not saying it didn't happen. I'm just saying I don't remember it. But
Yeah.
that's nice. Yeah. Like I said, like give it to us, Cobra Kai guys, and give it to us the same way you gave us Cobra Kai. So, all right. So next up is classic 86-year-old. What does it say? Fantasy getting a Prime Video remake. You guys want to take a guess at what it is?
86
I already
year
saw
old
what the news was, so
Yeah.
Let me have it.
All right. So it looks like Blake Shelton and his wife Gwen Stefani, or Gwen Stefani and her husband Blake Shelton, however you want to say it, Mr. and Mrs. Stefani Shelton, whatever you want to say, are going to be teaming with Prime Video to bring a remake of The Wizard of Oz to life for modern young adults. The series is titled Dorothy and will use the iconic yellow brick road as a metaphor to highlight the challenges and choices facing young adults today. Miss No Doubt herself.
Okay. If it decides, because I mean we've already seen one interpretation of the Wizard of Oz, so I mean we
we've
could see
seen
we could see another
multiple
one.
interpretations.
No, we've seen multiple interpretations, but um the big on the bigger scale, that of course was The Wiz,
Yeah,
and that was the 1978 movie, and then there was the miniseries Tin Man, which was on the Sci-Fi Network. But this is a
Wicked,
whole new, yeah. Well, I
um,
mean, well, you got to remember the side stories too. I'm just
Return
talking
to
about,
Oz.
yeah, but I
Yeah,
mean just the Wizard of Oz, like
yeah,
that
yeah.
particular story.
There's over a dozen books in the Oz series,
Yeah,
and we always keep coming back to the Wizard of Oz, the first one. We
yeah,
very rarely we get into some of the other stuff because a lot of the details are pretty dark. Like the fact, like when you get into the Tin Man's origin, the fact that he was the lover of one of the Wicked Witches. I believe it was Wicked Witch of the East, and he spurned her, and so she cursed him that every so often his axe uh, randomly he'd chop off a piece of his own body and have to replace it with tin.
okay,
Yeah, that was this Tin Man story.
No,
That's
that is the official L. Frank Baum canon origin of the Tin Man in the Oz stories.
okay.
that's some dark shit right there, man.
Yep.
uh, but yeah,
Well, damn.
so like I said, Dorothy, look for it on Prime Video. Blake Shelton and Gwen Stefani producing or helping produce
Yep.
and working with Prime Video. So it should be
And
something good and worth watching.
it's very much like the Chronicles of Narnia
Right.
in
Yeah.
that the first book gets remade constantly in plans of moving on, but they never get on to the moving on part.
Yeah.
And so you end up with a good chunk of the series just never getting made.
Yeah.
So, but there's so many more books in the Oz series that could be adapted into films. I mean, it is a legitimate
Right.
potential
Excuse me a second,
series. Yeah,
fellas. I'll be
yeah.
right back.
So hang on a second.
Oh shit. Hey Roxy Hart. Eagle
Hey,
Shan 3. Thanks
Roxy.
for tapping in, y'all. We appreciate y'all. Shout out. All right. So what were you looking up, sir?
There we go. Yeah. So yeah, Wizard of Oz came out as a novel back in 1900. So the Oz books. I'm looking up, seeing exactly how many Uh,
How many remakes there's
yeah,
been?
there are 14 books in the main Oz series,
Yeah. So there's plenty of
and
stories to
there's
explore there.
plenty of stories. Yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah,
um,
so like I said, it allows for a lot of different ways for the story to be told and retold and retold. You know, the
yeah.
base story is always going to be the same, but
Right, but there's more to the lands of Oz than just
the
the Emerald
Dorothy,
City and Dorothy's story. Yeah,
yeah,
there. Later on, you get Ozma, who is basically like the queen of
yeah.
Oz. Um, there's a lot of stuff and material to be used, but just never gets
And see, also
used.
like I use another example of another book series that I'm pretty familiar with, like uh, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Yeah,
Like, there's so much more to that whole universe than just what's his name story. I forget the name of the main
Ford
character.
Prefect. Yeah,
Yeah, there's a lot more than just his story to be told. You know, so there's about 6 or 8 books, and so the same thing goes with this. Oz was meant to be
yeah,
a series. There's a whole
yeah.
world out there. So, all right, Saints back. Let's see. All right, so we'll
All
move
right.
forward. We'll move forward with this. And gentlemen, this is a conversation we've kind of had before, but I came across this article that was talking about, kind of the title of the article that I read said, "Are you too old to be playing video games?" And we've
No,
answered these questions on many of occasions, and this person's take was pretty much the same as ours. That no, but I do agree with the title, which is that our relationship with video games changes with time. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
When we're kids, there's nothing else we're worried about in the world other than playing those video games, coming home, maybe doing some homework, playing those video games, and racking up high scores.
yeah,
As you get older, video games become more of a luxury and more of something that you do to kind of wind down and forget about the day. You know, and then as you get even older, they become again a primary source of entertainment. Because I think I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm with that kid that was saying that when Gen X gets old, that old, we're wearing the old folks' homes. The old folks' homes are all gonna have N64s and PlayStation 3s and a bunch of classic gaming systems for us all to sit there and play while we waiting to go to the great beyond. And so
The
I
great
think
beyond.
I think definitely our interaction with video games will perpetually change as we get older. But will video games ever be gone? Never, never.
Nah.
Gentlemen, your thoughts on that?
By all means, Dave.
I mean, I completely agree with you on that. Uh, in that we change as you know, our relationship with games changes as we grow older and we change around in there. Um, it's not necessarily for bragging rights at our age. It's not necessarily for the smack talking, even though that happens. Um, but we all continue playing games for different reasons.
Okay.
Okay. For me, I play for the bragging rights because number one, we're older, we're more experienced, and we're a lot better than a lot of them. We have we have franchises that have been around for 30 to 40 years, but yet some little kid want to step up into the arena and have at it. That's fine. Or even better, there's a team in Sweden. In
Really?
Sweden, oldest team member is 81. Youngest team member is 62. Get the fuck out of
Nice.
here, man.
Uh,
Man, what? And boomers. And they're boomers. And
uh,
also a silent generation kid. You can't make this shit up. And
okay.
the simple fact is, this is where we are. We embraced the technology.
Yeah.
to create our own things. Hell, we coded our own games. That's how we were able to do the stuff. Come on, man. It's not rocket science, or is it?
Or is it? That's the question. All right, but yeah. So that being said, we all agree you're never too old for video games. Just your reasons for playing them change as time goes on. All right, gentlemen. Next to last subject here is we will go into Thunderbolts 2 is happening, just not maybe not how you thought. The article goes on to talk about how there's a bunch of Marvel movies in the, I think he said 14 of them in the original MCU that did not get sequels. That were basically one-offs, so to speak. And there's been a few already that probably won't get sequels now. He mentions what is it? He said the chances of Eternals 2 is slim to none. Shang-Chi 2 might happen, but it's clearly not a priority. The Fantastic Four 2 is probably going to happen, though it'll surely be at least 2028 before we see it. This is an article by James Hunt on comicbook.com. I'll say, and he said, but it doesn't look like we will see a sequel for the Thunderbolts. Right. So, but he says we are technically getting one, as he sees, based on what he's seeing, Avengers Doomsday is Thunderbolts 2.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that, of course, that guarantees that all members of the Thunderbolts are going to be reprised in Avengers Doomsday.
Oh yeah, I mean that's obviously set up at the end of Thunderbolts, where you have the conversation about the previous film, Captain America: Brave New World. Sam's got the task of putting the Avengers back together, and he wants to, and Val basically beat him to the punch with the new Avengers.
All right.
And so, well, who gets the name? And going back and forth over all that. We'll see. I think that we'll have the Avengers and new Avengers for a while in the MCU, but it'll all get sorted out at the end of Doomsday / Secret Wars. So
Okay.
we're going to get it's going to be almost a moot point, because Secret Wars is going to be the reset point.
Right.
That's going to be the entire hard reset for the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So we're going to reset everything, go back to the beginning, do it all over again, this time with feeling.
All right, Saint, your thoughts?
Hey, I'm with Dave on this one. Restructure, recount, reprise. Boom. All right, start over.
Well, we'll see.
Like I said, like I said, the entire Infinity Saga was pretty much fan service for us old guys that loved the stories, and we got to see that shit on film. To me, and for me personally, the best movie to me was Captain America: Winter Soldier. That one right there, just specifically for me, was the driving point. Was a driving point. Because that's where Steve Rogers was like, okay, fuck you, I'm saving my friend, no matter what. And that's exactly what he did.
All right, so one last subject. Don't know if you guys have kept up on this, but they just ended this season of Twisted Metal. And let me say this, the entire season from the beginning to end was chef kiss. Like, they did, again, fan service to everybody.
Wait a minute, hold on.
Storytelling.
They did 10 through 12?
Yeah. 10 through 12 dropped on the 28th.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm not going to give any spoilers.
No spoilers. Listen, I was just aware it was only up to 9 episodes, but they're 10 through 12. Oh yeah, I'll be watching that today.
We do get a winner of the tournament. We do get
I don't
the
want it to.
arena.
Yeah, we don't. Yeah, I don't.
I'm
want to
not giving you. I'm not telling you any details. I'm just telling you the things that you will get, which is like I said, you will get the arena. You will get a winner of this year's Twisted Metal tournament. And yeah, it's
And the wish.
Calypso. That's what I have to say to you. All right. But
Calypso's
anyway,
the Calypso's a listen. Calypso is a bastard in the game. Trust and believe you me, he's pretty much gonna be a bastard when this series is done. I'm waiting to see this shit.
oh
I'm
yeah.
waiting to see
All
it.
right. So I'll let you guys get a quick minute before we close out this segment and get to commercial break to talk a little bit about Peacemaker. I guess episodes 1 and 2. I have not seen them, but I'm not tripping about spoilers. Talk about it all you want, gentlemen.
All right. Well, I will say this. We have a new antagonist. Of course, we already know that Frank Grillo is playing Rick Flag
Rick Flag
Senior.
Senior, yeah.
Senior, but no. The secondary antagonist is played by Tim Meadows. This motherfucker here. Oh my, listen. He is an asshole that you can't stand, but is kind of agreeable. Eagly is really off the chain. To me, he is pretty much the hero of the first 2 episodes. But I will say this because I really don't want to throw the spoiler out there in particular. I will say this. There are repercussions of things that happen with the Superman movie. If you watched Superman, you will completely understand why these 2 first episodes make way. And trust and believe you me, it is integrated in such a way like you can't. You just gotta watch it, especially the first episode and in the intro, because it'll totally take you by surprise. Especially like from last season, trust it. If you start watching it from there, then you'll be like, "Hey, Saint, thank you. You didn't want you done you. I'm glad you didn't spoil it." I'm only gonna say that because really, there's a lot of big spoilers in there, and if you watch it, if you don't watch it, you'll be pissed. Trust you will be pissed. Because you seen Superman, gentlemen, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Dave?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I can't do that. This will be the one time I can't do it, because there's so much to unpack with this series, so much, and then it'll definitely leave you guys running for the hills. So yeah.
All right. Well, like I said, I'll probably watch it tomorrow on Labor Day. Ain't got much going on, so I'll probably watch it tomorrow. But yeah. So, all right, Dave, any thoughts, or have you seen it?
Nope, not yet.
Okay. So then we'll jump on over to that pop culture quiz question. And gentlemen, like I said, you should be able to know this question in your sleep. But in the Transformers movie in 1986, shocked fans by killing off which beloved Autobot leader early in the film, paving the way for Rodimus Prime? Gentlemen?
Ultra Magnus.
Optimus. Wrong answer only, dude.
I thought he was going to say, what's the name of the big city?
No, Metroplex.
Metroplex.
Okay, that would have been that would have been some some heavy
How
shit.
can you forget the iconic death scene of the heroic Megatron?
Oh, man.
That's because that was some cold shit, man.
Yep. That was some cold
I
shit.
know. No, it's dude.
I will say this, though. That original Transformers movie will always have me hyped because of that intro music.
Well,
That's so,
I mean,
more than
beyond
meets the eye. Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, though, is that it set us up for a lifetime of Optimus Prime dying and coming back and dying and coming back and dying. and coming back. It's not a Transformers franchise until Prime dies and gets resurrected somehow.
I'll say that. I'll say this. That trauma set me up for my next trauma, and I'm about to re-traumatize a bunch of people my age. And the only other death that means as much outside of Mufasa is Atreyu's horse in the Never-Ending Story.
Oh, no.
That was not right. They
No.
should have done it.
That was cruel and unusual punishment, sir.
The greatest, most impactful, resonating death for Gen Xers. Mr. Hooper. Sesame Street.
Yeah, that
Oh.
was.
Yeah.
That was.
With Bob trying to explain to Big Bird how Mr. Hooper isn't coming back. And they kept it all real.
Yeah. All right. So before we all start crying here, we're gonna go ahead and leave it there. Coming up after the break is SmackDown Alley and some video game talk. So be sure to stick with us here on the Cheap Pop Podcast, right here on Twitch TV, part of the First GenXers Broadcast Network and WKKW Network. Peace.
This is now versus then. This is now versus then. Get on your mark, let's go. This is now versus then. Burning up your radio, still turning up the heat with Poetic on the flow. Got you moving to the beats with the Saint as your host. Shout out the collective, hold it down, we gon' clown, that's the lesson. Where Generation X meets Generation Next, with the bangers from the east to the south to the west. Yeah, this how we do it in Sacktown. Slide to the studio, yup, it goes down. These beats gon' pound, waking the game up, told you it goes down. And this is only the intro. Turn the mics on, shout out to my kinfo. Where you at, y'all? Let's get this started. Turn down for what? We about to start the party. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. This is now versus then. This is now versus then. This is now versus then. This is now versus then.
Soon here we will. Yeah. Well, no, Miss Bree just ordered us a pizza. It's gonna go on top of the table since you won't be over there anymore. They can jump in.
Dolphins trade Jalen Ramsey. Anyway, so we'll start out with.
They're both so good. They probably just got
Oh yeah.
They say that beauty is in the eye of the beholder. But the definition of beauty is distorted.
Go.
Yeah. Searching for yourself, so insecure about the way you look, so you go to Miami. You can't find the love within yourself.
All right.
Okay.
There we go. All right, guys. So we're back for the second half of the show, where we're going to talk some SmackDown and some video games, and have tons of fun. Sorry.
Yeah.
All right.
So,
There we go.
do the trivia question, and then before we get into wrestling, I just got to talk real quick about a couple minutes on Alien Earth, the show that
Okay,
you guys aren't watching that you need to be.
Yeah. Well, that would have been better on the opposite side of the break.
Yeah,
but
I just
we'll
thought-
let you
I
go
just
now.
thought-
We'll
yeah.
let you go now before we jump into SmackDown.
Okay, so we're on episode 4 of Alien Earth, and the shit just got real. Because besides dealing with having a Weyland-Yutani ship full of alien specimens, not just xenomorphs, but others, crash into New Siam, the Lost Boys, the main character group, the synths with uploaded intelligence from terminally ill kids, they've learned the power of no. And I know both of you two gentlemen realize what happens when you're a parent and your kid learns what the power of no.
Yeah.
And now you've got all these preteen intelligences in superhuman synthetic bodies that realize, yeah, what are you going to do if I don't do what you say?
Yeah.
What power do you have? So, yeah, shit is definitely getting real.
All right.
And the kid, again, the actors and actresses portraying the Lost Boys are just the highlight of the show because they are acting like they are 10-year-old kids in adult bodies. One of the girls just had a confrontation with one of the scientists where she is absolutely insistent that she is pregnant because that's part of being a grown-up girl is being a mother, and she doesn't understand how the process works or what leads to it. She just knows that she is.
Right.
Okay.
And it's it's the kids' games where they're learning the boundaries, and it's going to get out of control because of the literal physical differences. I mean, the psychiatrist is trying to explain to the girl how she can't be pregnant, and the girl from the sofa leaps up over the psychiatrist's desk and has her lean back in her office chair, hand against the woman's throat, and say, "No, I am pregnant."
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
And there's some stuff that's even more horrifying than the xenomorphs in there. Like there's the eyeball creature that what they do is they find another living creature. They face hug it, and then they tear out one of its eyes, crawl in the socket, and then that becomes the new eye of the creature, and it's taken over the creature.
Wow. Yeah, that's nasty.
Yeah,
And
that. And
it
this is on. And this is on what now?
this is on Hulu via
Oh,
FX.
Alien Earth. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. Oh, okay.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
yeah. It is definitely fantastic. So that's enough for me. Sorry, I should have thought of this before we
Oh no, 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 man.
transition.
All
Because
good.
that's animated, right?
No. Live action.
Live action.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it is every bit as intense as the first two films were.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. I'll buy it for. I'll buy that for $1.
Yep.
So we'll leave that there and jump our. All right. Now we get into some wrestling talk. Due to construction on time, we're definitely gonna skip over Raw and SmackDown for this week. They were both excellent. I think we all
Yep.
agree, but we're gonna dive directly into today's page.
Ooh. Pain per view.
Yeah, yeah. It was a great show from beginning to end, as far as I was concerned, at least. But the card consisted of a couple of newer matches since the last time we talked to her. I believe they added. No, we already knew about Becky Lynch and Nikki Bella,
Yeah.
and we knew about Shane. So maybe we did know about all of them.
Yeah, that's stuff that got announced on Raw. The last minute matches on Raw. And
Yeah.
one thing for SmackDown, I did see the clip, the promo of John Cena walking out of the ring away from Logan Paul to go talk to the kid
Yeah,
that
He
he
cussed
mocked.
out.
He cussed out back in last time in Brussels, and fantastic face promo for Cena.
Oh
I mean,
yeah,
he's talking to the kid. John Cena, whatever you think of him, is undeniable that he works with kids better than any other roster member. And yeah, it was John explaining what what a real man does for responsibility when he loses his cool. He apologizes to the kid, hugs him, does the selfie together and everything. And like Logan Paul wasn't even a consideration.
and that it was a very strong promo from Cena.
Yeah.
Definitely. Uh, I think. Well, I'll say so. Okay, Clash in Paris, Clash in Pain, whatever you want to call it, opened up, and this is why I agree with the Clash in Pain. Was Roman Reigns versus Bronson Reed, the Tribal Chief taking on the Tribal Thief.
Yep.
The Ula Fala versus the Shula Fala. The match we've all been waiting for.
Yeah.
Not really. But anyway, Roman Reigns, of
I
course.
guess Roman came out with Ulafalas that were given to him by his uncle and his grandfather.
Yes, came out with two of them. The black, I believe it was blackish one, and then he had the red one,
Yeah.
red Ulafala. But he came out with that. Like I said, him and Bronson Reed, two powerhouses, knocked each other around the ring. It would be as JR used to say, it was a slobber knocker, for sure. They beat the living hell out of each other, but it was really more so what happened after the match that was impactful. As Braun Breaker came out and speared Roman after his win when he was celebrating, and then Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker proceeded to just destroy Roman Reigns. Oh my goodness.
That right there was bullshit, man. Listen, look. I understand. He was signing shoes for the kids.
Yeah.
And then Braun Breaker just want to just like spear him for no reason at all. And then I hope, and I just hope Bronson Reed, right now, I do not like you. I do not like you. And for the simple fact that that was unnecessary. There was no reason for him to do that 4 times. Or was it 5? I fucking lost count. That was, you're going to get yours in the end. I hope that, and I know, because I know the next big thing, the next big pay-per-view is Survivor Series, and I'm just waiting for a few months down the line to get that, and I just hope and pray you get your desserts, man. I hope the entire bloodline just come together, including Sami Zayn, and just like, ugh.
Now, before we move on to the next match, I'm glad you mentioned that, sir, there, in the fact that your new United States champion as of Friday is Sami Zayn.
Yeah, now that I did like.
In a hell of a match to win his first ever U.S. title. So, congratulations, Sami Zayn. We can't wait to see you defend.
Good job.
In the next match of the night, we saw the Wyatt Six, who came out to. Let me just say this before we dive into this match. British crowds, the overseas crowds are amazing. They give you the energy. They give me, when they go overseas, that's when it gives me those 90s Attitude Era type feels, where the crowd is just going wild for everything that's happening. And not that they should just accept whatever, but they're giving loud, visible reactions, to wrestlers and to things and to events in the thing. So the Wyatt Six came out to the Fireflies and everything else like that. They defeated the Street Profits, which I'll be honest with you, Street Profits, I love y'all as wrestlers, always will. That new theme song is not it. It's a good song, but it's just not it when it comes to y'all. So,
but I did like that intro though. Borderlands Fort, man. What? Oh, yeah. But the Borderlands, man.
but yeah. So unfortunately, the Wyatt Six were able to retain their tag team championships over the Street Profits. But it was a hell of a match, nonetheless.
Yeah. Listen. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'm telling you. Next Worlds Collide, we need a slobber knocker between the Wyatt Six and the Psycho Circus.
I can see that.
We need that.
I think it'll be interesting.
Sure. At some point.
Yeah. I do want to give acknowledgement to the one and only Angelo Dawkins. His ass was like, he showed up and showed the fuck out. I mean, he was doing air moves that Montez Ford usually gets off. And listen, I was there for it when I watched that. I was like, is he getting up on the top? Wait a minute, hold on. He's getting up there. Wait a minute. Oh, he's about to fly. Yeah.
And fly he did.
And listen, and I guarantee you, Gacy and Loomis had no fucking idea that was fixing to happen. But then again, of course, Sister Abigail just decided to just fuck it up, man.
Miss Nikki Cross.
But I love her though, man. I love Nikki Cross, man. She's about maybe 4 cans short of a 6-pack, but yeah.
All right, so they fought. Dave, your thoughts on the Wyatt? Oh, you already gave your thoughts on the Wyatt. We next up we have Becky Lynch taking on Nikki Bella for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. I thought it was a great match. Nikki Bella fell short of taking the title from Becky, and Becky comes back up a little bit later on in the show as well, that we'll talk about it in a little bit. But yeah, she retained her championship over Nikki Bella. So,
dude, for me, it wasn't even about the retaining, man. Like, them two, listen, they fought for the first time ever, okay, and it's like Nikki Bella came in there and showed presence. She came in there and was like, "Oh, you're not just like you're not the new kid on the block. I get that, but I'm fixing to show you some shit." And I guarantee you, Becky was like, "Oh, wait a minute, I'm not underestimating nothing that this girl did. You got to remember, she is a former Divas champion. She was dirty. Come on, Twin Magic." To me, as one of the dirtiest moves in wrestling, when her, oh my God,
Yeah.
you think about that. If they had, what if she had to pull some shit off of that? That would have been the shit though. With Twin Magic, yeah.
But Becky gets the retain, and like I said, clean fall match. That led us to Rusev taking on Sheamus in a good old fashioned Donnybrook match. That Rusev wins by submission. Gentlemen, your thoughts on this match?
He tapped out.
It was a brutal match.
He tapped out.
Brutal match.
He tapped out. Sheamus has never tapped out, bro.
They dropped him on his head. They dropped him on top of some what are those things called that they cure the alcohol in? Barrels. Dropped him on top of some barrels, through some tables. Like, yeah, man, they did it all. These two definitely worked well in the ring together, and I was happy with everything that I saw. Yeah, it was a toned down version of an extreme death match, but it was a great no holds barred. The one thing I did bring up to somebody I was watching the pay-per-view with was that all of these matches that are like no DQ or like they're specialty street fight matches or something like that, those fights should automatically be falls count anyway. The stipulation shouldn't have to be added. That should be automatically included. Like
I agree.
They shouldn't. If I just put you through a table from 16 feet outside in the ring, outside of the ring, I shouldn't have to drag you back into the ring to get to 1, 2, 3. I should be able to just pin you right there. That's why I think that stipulation should be added to all like Donnybrook matches, street fights, all of those matches.
Especially with Hell in a Cell, because Lord have mercy, those of course some of those matches have actually been outside of the cell, and it's like think about the infamous drop from Mick Foley. Like Mick Foley should have been dead. You know what I mean? And
he wanted
Undertaker.
that spot. He wanted that spot. He wanted to feel alive. No,
he wanted to feel alive, but damn, man, like I will never ever unsee that drop, because he damn near kicked the shit out of him. Like, boom, this is Sparta. Dead man walking. Like, what?
All right. So that led us. Or Dave, do you have any thoughts on the Rusev Sheamus match?
No.
All right, so then we'll move on to what was one of the two main events of the night, and that was one Mr. John Cena, the Unseen 17 baby, taking on Logan Paul in a singles match. And John Cena, after a valiant effort by Paul, beats Paul by pinfall.
Now, I gotta say this about that.
Down goes Paul.
I don't like I said, I do not like Logan Paul, but I will say this: that motherfucker is now starting to really come into his own, and I hate that dude. But he actually, when he came in there and did the 5-knuckle shuffle, which, of course, they changed the camera wrong, and I know you saw it. I know you saw it, Kev. I know you saw it. I was like, it was one of those shots like, oh my God. Wrong shot. You fucked up right here. And somebody, and you know what? They've been doing a lot of that shit lately. They've been fucking up on some camera angles. I think, Triple H should be, looking like the next time somebody fucks up on a camera shot, get him out of here. Get your last truck and get the fuck on. And leave you there, man.
Yeah, that's it.
Like, that shit was not cool.
So how did it feel, Dave, watching John Cena kick Logan Paul's ass?
Haven't seen it yet. I know what happens, but I have not yet seen Clash in Paris. I don't mind spoilers. I'm all good. So
Yes, sir.
I still have yet to see Logan Paul getting his ass beaten with that Prime Energy drink bottle.
Well, trust and believe you me, you'll get some fan service. You'll definitely get some fan service from that one because, and I will say that was a nice match. That was a decent match. Like Logan Paul, I mean, despite him being an asshole or whatever, I mean, he did get his just due.
Yeah, I will never deny his skills in the ring.
Yeah.
I just think that the guy is personally an asshole.
No, he seems like one.
Oh, he is.
Yeah, and he loves living up to that. So, hey, we all need villains for the heroes. So,
All right, speaking of villains, that closes us out with the fatal four-way match between the one and only, the Architect, the man that shops out of Becky's closet, the one and only World Heavyweight Champion Seth Rollins, taking on CM Punk, Jey Uso, and LA Knight. And Seth retains by pinfall. After, now mind you, earlier in this discussion I said that Becky Lynch would come into play again. It seems as if Becky Lynch has joined the vision. And she helped by hitting CM Punk with a low blow to help Seth Rollins get the stomp and the victory and retain his title. Because as we all know, after the beatdown on Roman Reigns, Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker were asked to leave the building and banned from the arena by Adam Pearce.
yeah.
So we've just been introduced to the newest member of the Vision. Seth Rollins retains. Gentlemen, your thoughts?
I'm not shocked.
Yeah, I'm not either.
I'm not shocked, bro. I'm not shocked. That was, I mean, come on, man.
Yeah.
She's been dropping clues. Oh, I got the hot husband and shit like that. Or she's been name dropping Seth in these last couple. Man,
Yeah.
Stop the cap.
More,
Stop the cap.
More than that, it's also, Seth can't win clean. There's a shocker. It's not a question of whether Seth is going to retain. The question is, how's he going to not win clean?
Yeah.
And it's kind of like watching NASCAR only for the crashes.
I feel you.
You know, it's just,
That's a fucked up analogy, Dave.
tell me I'm wrong.
You might be right, but still, bro.
Oh, man. All right, so that does it for our Clash in Paris review. There's a couple other topics, but we can hold them over till next week. Like I said, time-wise, we are running kind of short, so let's see.
We're making good time, though. I ain't mad.
Yeah, well, say,
Doing good.
so I didn't introduce a pop culture question at the top of the thing, so we will now let you guys instantly try to answer it. In He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, Orko, the magician, came from a different dimension. What was the name of his home world?
Mm.
I need to know. You know what?
I
That
got
is a good.
Stumps you?
I got trauma.
Yeah, well, the answer is Trolla. The answer is Trolla. There you go, gentlemen. So that was our pop culture quiz question, or the answer for the last segment. Now let's dig into the new segment, which is all right. And our final pop question quiz question of the day is one that's so easy. Again, if you don't get it right, you obviously don't belong on this show. DuckTales 1987 introduced Scrooge McDuck's adventurous nephews. What was the name of Scrooge's pilot who later starred in his own spin-off series? Again, if you don't know this one, you shouldn't be watching this show, or you don't.
shouldn't
Hey,
even-
Tech Tinkers, of course, shows
You
up.
shouldn't be
for-
watching this show if you ask the question in that way, because he never had his own solo show.
He was a part of a successful spinoff, though. He was-
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right,
Well,
so
Tech.
let's start here. What's up, Tech Tinkers? Glad to have you.
Yo
with
yo.
us. All right, so for off of IGN, an article provided to us by the one and only Rune Scryer. Xbox newcomers are thanking veteran Helldivers 2 players for helping them out, and player numbers are seeing a massive boost as a result. Fill us in, Dave.
Okay, so recently, the phenomenal first-person shooter Helldivers 2 left PlayStation exclusive and recently finally had a release on Xbox. This is part of the console wars détente, where PlayStation is getting some Xbox originals, Xbox is getting some PlayStation originals, a little cross-pollination. It's all good. So, but what happened is that, okay, this is a brand new game. And so while the Xbox new players are learning the controls, the strategies, the maps, and everything, the veteran PlayStation players set aside all their differences, pulled together for Super Earth and democracy, and shepherded and guided and shielded all their new Xbox recruits. And the results are, it's a positive community. It's a community that more people want to get part of, and there less people are hitting and quitting it because, you know, it's not like a Call of Duty or Battlefield lobby. You know, you've actually got some semblance of a helpful community that's not going to make fun of you for being a noob.
Exactly. I haven't had the haven't had the opportunity to engage with Xbox players, but I'm looking forward to that because I do have a copy of I do have Helldivers 2, and to me, that game is Starship Troopers, but on a different setting in some extra shit, and you're on a super Earth.
And I believe
crazy.
that I believe that it's cross-platform play. So
Oh yeah, absolutely.
yeah.
That's
So
yeah.
it's one. You know, if you're playing Helldivers 2 on your PlayStation, you're going to be interacting with Helldivers 2 players playing on their Xbox.
Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, I'm well aware. Just like I mean, I'm personally not gonna do it because I can't, I just can't see it. But I'm even welcome to play Gears of War players when I play on my Xbox because I'm sorry, I just can't see Gears of War on the PlayStation.
Right.
That's just yeah. It's kind of like it's like definitely almost cringe-worthy.
Yeah.
So yeah.
All right.
But
I said, all right. No, I agree with you guys 100%. I think any actions of this type or of this ilk where people are protecting people, because one of the biggest things for me when I get into online environments is trying to figure out the environment and not having people who are like, hey, dude, like, let me show you or let me help you or let me let you, run with me until you can learn how to be able to run on your own. That's definitely makes you feel a lot more welcome.
Yeah,
Whether
that
you're,
is,
yeah, absolutely.
that's the core to a community game.
right.
Yeah. And before we move on, talking about cross-platform play, 2 Xbox exclusive games are going to be coming to PlayStation in November. It's going to be yeah. Okay, so it's like, wait, SmackDown starting? But
That was the overall theme song, yes.
Age of
Boy,
Empires, Age of
Kev,
Empires 4 Anniversary
you're
Edition,
awesome, dude. You're awesome, dude.
and Stalker 2 Heart of Chernobyl are going to be coming to PlayStation on November 4th.
Nice, nice.
Yep.
I'll say, all right. And then the next subject that we're moving to is 5 Ubisoft games acquired by Atari, all set to be re-released on the Xbox. What were these games? Let's see.
Okay.
I know Cold Fear is one of them.
Cold Fear from 2005, Child of Eden from 2011, I Am Alive from 2012,
12.
Grow Home from 2015, and Grow Up from 2016.
Okay,
Yeah.
two of those games I played. I Am Alive. It's okay. It's pretty much survival at its fit. Is more of a dystopian, like survival at the fittest.
Okay.
But Cold Fear, yeah, that's how can I put it? It's like Resident Evil on a ship
Okay.
and surviving as best as you can.
Mm.
And that was way back. That was during the God damn. That's during PlayStation 2 era.
Dang.
Yeah.
Yes, I did see that. The Mortal Kombat 2 was being delayed.
Yeah.
We will be getting to that. Yeah, till summer of 26. We'll be getting to that pretty soon. All right. I personally have never heard of any of the Ubisoft games, but probably gonna try them out and play them. No Man's. Hold on, let me find this real quick. Suave is trying to get me on No Man's Sky.
Yeah.
He really loves that game.
It's the shit.
It is great.
Is what the equivalent?
Vast improvement over how it was at its launch. I want to say like 6-7 years ago.
Nice.
Yeah, vast improvements.
Well, then maybe I will check it out, just like Suave said to me. Please, he told me, check it out, bro. He wants me to play with it because I guess it's online play.
Yep.
Let's see. Okay, so we do have this one. The article reads: No character creations, no guns, no clans. What happened to Bloodlines 2? It's not the game that fans were promised.
All right. So this is Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2, which has been long gestating, and the original Bloodlines game was just a masterclass in adaptation from paper and pen role-playing game into a computer role-playing game.
Okay.
Now, the problem is that as they've been doing their release updates, because this was crowdfunded, they're showing off different things and different features in there that are now not going to be in the final product of the game. Now, no guns. It's a first-person modern horror simulator, and you're not going to have guns. I understand that from trying to get into up close and personal for the vampire stuff.
Yeah.
But at the same time,
Sorry.
it's just not working. No clans. Okay, this is quintessential to Vampire the Masquerade because you have the meta lore of the various clans, the two main factions, the Camarilla and the Sabbat, against each other, and the clans that make up these two factions have, these huge political arcs that go and plots that go on for centuries.
Yeah.
And finally are coming to fruition in there.
So, oh, well, speaking of which, my wife just delivered to me.
Hey, Millennium Falcon Lego.
That's
Hey,
right.
right on.
Say hi, wife.
Hi.
Hello.
Sorry to keep interrupting, but
So,
I thought you might like to see it.
all right.
Well, that's
So,
kick ass.
yeah. So, but yeah, it's very much fans are frustrated because it's like they sucked everything they were looking forward to out of the game.
No, no other video game news. Well, no, and here's the thing about it. I think I'm currently playing Bloodlines, the original one, on my PlayStation 5. I like the way that they did with it, but again, I agree with you 100%. Like, especially with the clans, like like that's the whole basis for the vampire, the
Universe.
world, and and the universe and how it's put together is the different clans and how they the brouhaha, like every single
Brouhaha.
character
Yeah.
was a member of that clan, but like the clans are what made everything unique about it. So you can't remove the clans, just make it a bunch of stories about vampires roaming around New York or
Yeah.
Boston or wherever.
Yep.
But all right, so that was that one. The next one is iconic game publisher Acclaim marks its return with a showcase next month.
Yep. So,
Why? Why? No, and I mean, I'm dead ass. Like, Acclaim, like, no.
They went bankrupt in September 1st, 2004.
Yeah. Okay. And
Okay. So they've been resurrected. And they they brought back, and so they're going to be having a showcase on September 10th, where they're going to show what's going to be coming from the new Acclaim. And I mean, you can't deny that in the Nintendo Entertainment System era, Acclaim was freaking everywhere.
Yeah, it was. Acclaim was one of the central points, along with
And-
Atari and all of them before
Yeah.
the days of PlayStation and Sega and all of that. It was
Right, but even
Acclaim.
going on into Sega and PlayStation, Acclaim was still going pretty strong.
They did what Sega did. They shifted into making games as opposed to trying to create systems and
Right.
make games.
Well, they
That's
never
what
really
Sega
made a system.
really-
Systems. They did diversify just a little bit too much. They had failed attempt at comic books, but they still own Turok, which is still a really great IP for games, for comics, for everything.
granted,
Yep. Yep. The new CEO said, "We're not here to chase ghosts. We're here to take the energy and chaos and make Acclaim unforgettable and channel it into something new. The old screens are cracking, and what's coming through is something exciting and different."
okay. Let me see something. Hold on.
hold
Let me video games like Fortnite, Roblox. What makes you think that? And I wanted to
I don't see like he would have to get into a little bit more detail on that because I don't
Notice
see
how
how
this
they're killing
weekend- the movie industry. Well, there have been some. I mean, I'm not going to sit up here and front. There have been some terrible adaptations. Like, I really didn't get a kick out of Borderlands. You know what I mean? Like, I wanted to slap somebody right after.
There's a lot of people that did not care. And here's the thing about it. My first true experience with a video game movie was what was it? Super Mario Brothers.
Mm-hmm.
And looking back, that movie is an atrocious movie. It was great for what it was in the time that it was, but in perspective, it's an atrocious movie. But it tried to bring and stay what it do. Banana Clip 47.
Banana
well,
clip, squad up.
Well,
Go ahead.
it took the original elements of the game and managed to incorporate it all into the movie in certain ways. And so I felt that in that way it was done very well. I think sometimes you're going to have directors who understand the game and understand the story that was told in the game and understand how to translate it. Sometimes you're going to have people taking wild ass shots at shit. Like, I'll be honest, as much as I love the movie Battleship, one of my like top 25 favorite movies of all time. Battleship, right? That movie, I understand there were battleships in the movie and the name of the game is Battleship.
Yeah.
But to me, that's about as far as they've linked.
He played the game.
Huh?
He played the game.
Did he?
Yeah, he went F7 because he was shooting the buoys.
Oh, you talking about, yeah, when they did it, that
He
was an
played
old
Battleship
homage
game.
to the old game.
Yeah.
Okay, so that scene had a good link into it, but yeah, I wasn't a fan of how they related it to the actual concept of what they were doing, but it was still a great movie. Rihanna loved it, loved her and all of that. But in general, yes, I think that especially when you're dealing with something that people remember so fondly, like what they're doing with Acclaim right now, you have to tread lightly in the sense of make sure
So
what you do is
Milton
proceed with caution,
yes, proceed with caution.
because Acclaim used to make the WWE games
Yeah,
back in the day.
true.
No, that was way
Yeah.
back in the day. But those,
Yeah.
listen. I am
And-
sorry, but
And also,
THQ and Ukes are probably the best, with some of the best wrestling games ever, in terms of that. Before 2K took over the series. So yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Wasn't they with what was it, 969 Studios before they went to 2K?
Yeah. But then
yeah, I
696
believe so.
Studios?
No, but that was no, that's 989 Studios.
No, Ukes. Sorry, I'm
Yeah,
thinking
Ukes. Yeah, Ukes.
Yeah.
Ukes. And Ukes is still around. Of course, they went on ahead and made that terrible AEW game.
Yeah.
And
But they
almost
did,
got caught up in the throat. Sorry
Yeah,
about that.
but and also Acclaim, part of their board of advisors for Acclaim for creative advising, Jeff Jarrett's on it.
Okay. So yeah.
So they're definitely looking.
Wait a minute. Whoa. Are you talking about Jeff Jarrett as in Jeff
wrestler.
Jarrett
Yeah.
Yep.
Double J. Double J. J-E.
the blank look on my face is telling me it's kind of like this is not what we wanted, but apparently definitely not what we needed. Okay, carry on.
Well, say, Mr. Saint, or before we move on to the final subject, well, I'll say we got Tech Tinkers Teching and Hollywood got a bulk of it killed off by Netflix, Amazon. Apparently, video games like those are what Generation Alpha are playing, which is the next generation of moviegoers. So numbers are declining even further. We're going to start seeing major production. I disagree with the major production studios closing. I don't think they'll close. Just like with Disney and Marvel, they'll just end up getting sold off to another bigger company, to where we have most of them all conglomerated under one major roof. But in general, I think that there's such thing as oversaturation. And I think that Marvel and DC both are suffering from it right now. I think that they're seeing a decline in numbers, and in video game movies they're seeing a decline in numbers because I think over the past 20 years, Age of the Geek, if that's what you want to call it, we've seen so many of them, and so many of them so well done, from animated ones to live action ones. We've seen so many of them done that people are just getting video game and superhero fatigue.
Okay.
They give us a 2-year, 3-year cycle where we don't see any superhero or video game movies come out, and maybe you can generate that spark again, or you can just keep the flame going where it's at.
And then you have a whole bunch of other stuff coming.
Yeah, but in general, I think that's what's really causing more of a decline in viewership or people spending money, is that it's just fatigue. It's just fatigue. It's just, people are just getting, video games and superhero fatigue. You know, they give us a 2-year, 3-year cycle where we don't see any superhero or video game movies come out, and maybe you can generate that spark again, or you can just keep the flame going where it's at. Yeah, but in general, I think that's what's really causing more of a decline in viewership or people spending money, is that it's just fatigue. It's a lot to keep up with. There's
It's
new movies.
speed, it's expense, it's online fan toxicity. Yeah.
He said online fan toxic.
No, the toxicity of the online fan base is just we can get into it. I had an experience with the classroom a couple of weeks ago, right? It happens in sports. This isn't just a video game thing. Or,
oh no! I listen. I get it all the time. I get it all the time. I just experienced some last night, but hey.
All right, so last subject of the day, gentlemen. Fallout Bakersfield got an incredible extended gameplay video. This is a mod. Well, what are you laughing about, sir? You know something I don't?
I know Bakersfield.
It says Fallout fans get ready for a treat. Back in July 2025, they shared a short video fan-made remake of the classic Fallout games in GZ Doom called Fallout Bakersfield. Now Sara X has released a longer video that shows 6 full minutes of gameplay. Make sure to check it out. This could very well be one of the coolest things you'll see today. Fallout Bakersfield is a total conversion mod for GZ Doom. This mod basically reimagines the classic Fallout games as a first-person RPG hybrid. This is one of the best retro remakes, and he seriously hopes Bethesda will not shut it down. This was written by John Papadopoulos on DSOGgaming.com. But yes, what are you guys' thoughts on the Fallout Bakersfield mod?
I really have none at this point.
Hey, I love
it's Bakersfield, bro.
I know, but if you want a desert wasteland filled with raiders, drugged out crazies, and mutants,
Bakersfield is it,
huh? It's Bakersfield.
Oh man, wow.
I mean, take whatever you think from wherever you are in the United States or around the world. Take what you think about California, then flip the script, and that is Bakersfield. It is the anti-California.
Dang.
That's fucked up, bro.
That's fucked up. As we've established, Dave is not a fan of Bakersfield.
It's just straight real talk.
I've driven to Bakersfield. I've never really stayed there.
All you need to know about Bakersfield is in the Rolling Stones song "Girl with Faraway Eyes." Just listen to that, and that's everything you need to know about Bakersfield. That's all there is to it.
All right.
That's cold, bro.
Cold, bloody. Anyway, so gentlemen, you guys know the question. Now give us the answer. In DuckTales 1987, introduced Scrooge McDuck's adventurous nephews. What was the name of Scrooge's pilot, who co-starred? I'll change the question to that. Co-starred in a spin-off series. Gentlemen, the name
Launchpad.
Launchpad McQuack. My God.
But here's the thing: DuckTales didn't introduce Huey, Dewey, and Louie. Huey, Dewey, and Louie have been around almost as long as Uncle Scrooge has been. Okay. So.
Well, it was our introduction to them as more than just one-off characters.
That's
like
true.
in the sense of like most of the cartoons that we had seen them in otherwise were one-offs. Like they really didn't have any type of cohesive.
But if you look at the comic books, they feature really prominently in all the Donald Duck comic books from Carl Barks and Dan Rosa.
Okay, fair enough. All right, so that will close our talk for the day. Saint, those games you were talking about in the chat, we will get to those next week. I promise you that.
All right.
And for right now, we will jump on. All right, where can we find you next? Saint? Would you mind kicking us off and letting the crowd know where they can find you next?
Okay, tonight, because of the holiday, Labor Day, I will be doing a little something this evening in terms of the music. I'm probably going to end up doing a special edition of NVT Deuce, just because.
Okay.
Just because. And that'll be on around 10:45, close to 11 o'clock Eastern.
All right. Mr. Roomscrier, what is happening on that night shift, sir?
I will be back tonight. Had a rough weekend, but things are better, and so I should be back tonight, back with Spider-Man, Spider-Man 2. So do need to get back into Horizon Zero Dawn. I came to the realization that as much as I love all the primitive hunting stuff, I need to stop overlooking the shoddy. There is a weapon that when I get back into Horizon, I'm going to go get maxed up, max out the ammo pouch, and it's basically a shotgun. It's a rifle that fires a burst of metal shards at the target. And
wow.
I just need that firepower to be able to take down some of the tougher machines.
Okay.
All right. Finally, it's me introducing everybody to Thor. How you doing? Newest member of the family.
Aww.
There you go. All right. So for me, it's typical as usual. You'll find me in about an hour and a half on the classroom this week with only O'Malley because we are going to be without Mr. Suave as he celebrates another trip around the sun.
Yeah.
That's right,
Yeah.
Mr. Suave celebrating his birthday. I won't out him on how old he is, but a little older than me, just a little older than me. And we want to say shout out and happy birthday to him. Big ups, part of the fam, and we'll be celebrating him a little bit tonight as well. So I hope you guys enjoy. Remember, that'll be the classroom popping up at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, right here on Twitch and YouTube. And that's it, fellas. You got us ready to
I
raid
got
out,
you.
Mr. Sir?
I got you. I got you. I got you. Hold tight. I'm just trying to run it. All right. Sending out.
Peace.
Peace.
Thank you.